Just when you think it's all coming to an end, here's what we're sowing in October. Right, we're going to start off with onion sets, and it's always a favourite of mine. Got the Japanese onions. These are Senshu. They're a good doer. And I'm putting in Radar. These are also a good doer. I tried Snowball last year and they absolutely flopped. So I'm pinning all my hopes on these two. We'll also go with the garlic. So I have a pink Germador here. We'll be putting these in as well. So let's head outside and get these in the ground. So this one's nice and easy. We get a line, mark out where we want to go, keep it straight to keep the weeds out, flat end down, and we just pop them just below the surface. Okay, give them breathing room. It's about 15 centimeters. If you're wondering why I have my beds this sort of size, it's so you can reach in from each side. So each bed is a metre, so you can either reach right over or work from either side. It just makes it a lot easier. Top tip, that one's for free. Right, so that's the first row in. So cover these up and we'll put a stick to mark where they are. They'll just come up behind that stick, and then we'll repeat until I've run out of garlic, basically. So I'll probably get 2 or 3 rows in. So it's time for the onions, and we'll space them around the plot. So don't want to put them all in the same bed. I do like to pop the onions into different beds. So we'll pop a few rows of the Japanese one and then a few rows of the Radar one. So the way we do it, we'll get our label, pop it in the ground, and we just want the tips poking through. You don't have to mark this out. If you don't want to, you can if you want to. If you like a bit formal. Give them room to grow. 3 or 4 inches between each one. And you want the paper side up, so the little ticket side and a flat wiry bottom to the bottom. Now what I'll do, I'll cover these with a bit of netting in the early days, just to stop the birds pecking them out. So it's well worth doing if you have a lot of birds around the area. So they're all in, just the tips are poking through. So what I do, I put a bit of shade netting on, or scaffold netting, over the top, and that'll just keep the birds off until I see the green shoots coming through, and then I can take this off. Okay, so we're back inside and we'll go through what I'm sowing in October. It's not really that much. I've got a lot in trays, so we'll go through the trays after this, but I'm going to do a new seed tray of Lisbon spring onion. I'll do a full tray again because you can never get enough spring onions, and we'll also do some more lettuce. The reason why you'll see in a minute, but the ones I sowed earlier, they all pretty much failed apart from one tray which I've already filled hanging baskets with, and these are doing really well. And if you haven't seen the video on the frame, then you're missing out, because look, they're doing really well up there. So check that out, I'll link it in the description. This time of year I like to do the for round-headed lettuce, simply because from December, January, February, lettuce doesn't really grow that quick. So got to get it started. Should have got it started last month, but they failed. So we need to try again this month. So we'll go lettuce all year round, and this will give you a nice round head if we leave it long enough, that is. And we'll also do round lettuce. Lettuce, marvel of four seasons. Doesn't really like winter, so I'm going to say lettuce of three seasons. And Lolla Rossa, simply because I love this stuff. So these will all be sown today. Let's go through the trays of what we've got on going and pretty much what's ready to go in the ground. So let's do it. Right, so we'll start off with a bok choy. This is just starting to germinate, if you can see. They are coming up. This is a tray I did last week. Moving on to the spinach. These are about ready to go into the polytunnel and the low tunnel. I'll put a link to the low tunnel in the description for you as well. Moving on, we've got some Chinese cabbage and some more wong back. As you can see, most of this has all failed, so only very, very poor germination out of that one. Then we've got the spring onion and winter destiny. Only 2 or 3 have come up, but more are coming, and this has been sown for quite a while. If you're into little experiments, here's a good one for you. Spring onions, perlite over the top. Look at the growth difference. It's exactly the same seed to perlite or grit. Perlite is clear winner. Okay. Here's another failure tray. So kale didn't seed, winter destiny didn't seed. Lolla Rosso, we've got 4 or 5 coming through, so it's better than nothing. And we've got a tray of spinach, half germinated. These have probably got another week and they'll be in the ground. Then tray of spring onion. They're doing really well. Followed up by beetroot, and I grow the beetroot this time of year just for the leaves. All right. The lettuce next to it failed, hence the reason I'm doing more lettuce. This is a lettuce I've put into the hanging baskets, done really well. So this was sown about 2 months ago, so this is done really, really well. And a good old favourite of mine is Glen Kitchi. This I've just potted on. This will be going into the ground in another week or so. And then if we just move on to the hanging baskets, this is the way to grow your lettuce in a polytunnel. This one I've just done today, and these 2 have been in there for a week, and look at them, they really bush out. It's beautiful. Pick and come again, that's what you want. Hope you've enjoyed the little tour round of what I've got going for October. Like I said, it's a busy month, plenty to do. I've got so many things on as well. I've got a greenhouse I've just been given, so watch out for Pimp My Greenhouse coming shortly. More hoop tunnels coming shortly, and shed. Yeah, finally gone and done it. I bought myself a shed. Pimp My Shed is on the way as well, so loads more to look forward to. So as we're all sitting in on the sofa as winter hits, I'll be bringing you loads of content, so make sure you subscribe and give me some feedback on the chat, so on the comments. I'd like to hear what you're doing, and any tips pass on to the community. We'll catch you next time.